Guys, today we're talking about cutting weight. We'll give you some of my experiences, what I come across. I don't really cut weight myself too much. I have done it a couple of times in my professional career. I found it really easy, but there's little tips and little secrets you can do to cut down even further. It can lose you an extra couple of kilograms naturally, not unnaturally. So what I'm going to give you is my best ideas on cutting weight. My fighting career is my life, basically. I've been fighting for 30 odd years. I've also competed at high level world class since about 1988, which is roughly just under 30 years. So basically I finished when I was 45 years old and I started at 20. So that's 25 years of world class level. Now, what I want to try and cover is the different areas for fighting. The first thing is about your weight. A lot of people, especially because the amateurs going big now, because they're going on to pro, and eventually everybody wants to be the top of the game in the country or around the world. There's good money in it as well in the sport. It's rising all the time. With weight cutting, the main thing is that I never really cut weight. When I was in my 30s, I found that I've been fighting for a while. I don't believe it's a young man's game if you really want to cut weight. The reason why, because you don't know what's happening when you're losing all that fluids and you put your body all through that dehydration. What you'll find is that you don't know what's actually happened to your body internally. And for long-term, fluctuating weight is not good for you. It's not good on the heart, your lungs, everything. You're taken to a point where people used to do IV. You only really see that if you're in hospital and you're threatened with your life. So I don't think that's a good thing. That's a ban now, which I think is absolutely great. But people have done it, and years from now, they don't know if they're going to suffer. I do think things like this, cutting weight too much, can bring on anything you don't know. It's dementia, you name it. It's like you are putting your body through something which is not usual, and to do it as a habit, yearly, 2 times a year, 3 times a year, it can't be good. So with me, I never really cut weight. I always used to be able to fight at the weight I was, which is a confidence thing, because most people won't. They think they're giving away a disadvantage. People are coming down from a heavier weight, yes, and they're cutting down, but you can use your strength, you can use your concentration, your ability. But I think if you're really good, the ability obviously to get knocked out is even more. Obviously someone's used to carrying more weight and the power is higher, but within reason, the idea for, especially when standing up, is to hit without being hit. So when it comes to weight cutting, the main things I always try to explain to people, only put into your body what's good. The reason why that is, it goes through your system better. So for instance, I don't really eat anything except turkey or chicken. The reason why, everything else takes way too long. Beef, pork, I'm not really a lover of any of that. I never really eat it. Besides, from my young age, I remember sitting on a table eating things like beef, and you can chew it, and it takes ages. And those take about up to 6 hours, could be up to 6 hours to digest, which is not good. And sitting down on it makes you tired, makes you lazy. And like I said, the worst thing is to sit down or lie down on it or go to sleep. So to digest, I believe you're always supposed to stand up and walk around. What I tend to also do, if I would recommend, is once you finish eating, is don't drink first. Is to give yourself at least 10, put it on a clock, or 15 minutes before drinking. And the reason why that, although milk goes down better while drinking, but you dilute the fluids or to digest your food. It's not really highly recommended. I tend to drink things like acidic juices and stuff like that to help break it down. Like grapefruit juice and stuff like that helps the digestive system anyway. Or certain teas can help, but I tend to not try and drink. Best thing to do is have a sip or something, while you're eating, but not to have a heavy drink until after a few minutes. So the best thing is a sweatsuit while training, is wearing a sweatsuit. Beyond that now, I would say is like every workout is to wear good length of clothing. It's very uncomfortable, but you will get used to it. It's like going to a new country, a hot country. Within about 2 to 3 days, you'll find your body will acclimatise to this, and it'll get easier. But you always will be losing fluids. So be careful of the twitching, and if you find your body or your muscles start twitching a lot, electrolytes. Best thing to do for electrolytes as well while you're cutting weight is to get powder, electrolyte powders. You can put it in everything, your water, your flavoured drinks, everything. That way it's cheaper than when you buy it with local drinks and stuff like that. Another thing you can do, not get into too much detail, is while you're at home, if you're trying to cut down your weight and that, is to sleep with a lot of clothing on, so you're hot. It's very uncomfortable, yeah, you might not be able to sleep very well, but initially you can take your head out, you can have a fan on, take your head out of the blankets, and then as you're falling asleep again, you might find that you sleep a bit closer and you start to sweat again. The other thing you can do to sweat, if you don't do sauna and stuff like that, is like if you've got a shower, is to have a hot bath, soaking hot bath, and certain fluids or certain chemicals you can put in the bath to aid your dehydration or your body sweating and your metabolism speeding up. The other thing as well, to speed your metabolism up, I do everything which is fast-based. I try not to do slow squatting, curling, any slow-based exercise. I do fast twitch exercise, things which is explosive but fast and also continuous. And the reason why that is it allows me to burn, and also the metabolism speeds up. I'm burning more fuel, and that's means anything in my intake is burning. I get more proficient. Round muscles are short, they burn out, they gas. Long muscles got more duration than it has round muscles. So I tend to keep everything fast, and that way you can find you also lose weight. So it's like cutting weight is also natural for that way as well. I like to do it while, like if I was on a pad, I'll be hitting a bag really fast, as I call it, jogging pace, but with your hands. And any sort of exercise like cycling, rowing, but continuous. Remember, it takes about 15 to 20 minutes before you start burning fat. It's normally carbohydrates and stuff like that you're burning first. So I always tend to try and keep a workout and make it consistent, a good pace for up to about 15 to 20 minutes. Then after that, that's when you're really starting to burn. So I tend to recommend a lot of people. Other thing you can do, because it can chop and change, especially if you're doing MMA, is to do some sort of bleep test or jogging or skipping after training, and you would do this for about 10 minutes. I tend to have a good routine that after a workout, after people getting ready for a fight and they come down to the toning down week, they do bleep test after the workout. Might be just 1, 2, and you've got a couple of people who can jump on just to motivate. Besides that, guys, there's a lot of more stuff people do. They put oils on their body and so forth, but these are just the general tips I can give you, especially if you're cutting weight. For the amateurs, again, don't need any damage. You need to rehydrate after leading up to a fight, because if it's on the same day, remember, if you dehydrate too much, the brain is not going to get to the skull. The fluid, again, losing from the brain, it helps protect the brain. So if you dehydrate too much, and this is why everybody they do weigh in the day before to keep everybody safe. Amateurs are now doing extreme measures to try and win fights. Don't get to that point. Try and do it safely and try and keep close to your weight, your natural weight. I wouldn't fluctuate too much. It's not, for health wise, it's not good. Now, everybody do remember, when you do the martial arts, you do it for health reasons. When people talk about a sport, you think about a healthy person. If you start to take it to a point where you're becoming unhealthy, you're doing extreme stuff, you're counteracting what the goal is. The goal is for long-term health. And then from there, the rewards, again, hopefully if you're a professional, you get wealth with it as well. And then on top of that, the last thing is happiness. So these are the main points that people want for a successful life. Try not to take it to the extreme if you can, guys. Give a best of cutting weight if you can. I'm going to follow up with this to how to work a corner and how I prepare guys leading up to a fight, depending on the opponent and the type of style of person I'm working with. So it's Mark, we're signing off on this, on cutting weight. Remember, work hard, sweat more, a hell of a lot, and stay young.